I can tell you that those of you who sit here today know our mother from different parts of her life. She even carries different names. Beverly, Bev, Aunt Bev, Big Bev, the Saska, and yes, my mom. And for those of you who know her as the hard-nosed, yet friendly ER nurse, you most likely know her as Sarge. Our mother was one of 7 daughters to Marie and Thomas Hills. I was told that she was a child that always found herself at odds in school with nuns and getting herself into mischief. Mom, that makes me feel better. I promise you that she did not change at all in later life. I remember my mother telling me stories of taking Grandpa's car and trying to put it back on the exact marker and gas level so he didn't know. And FYI, she got caught too. Her process was a bit flawed. Even though she was into challenging nuns, being mischievous, and having fun, our mother was very focused on what she wanted in her life. She wanted to be a nurse since the day she could speak. In a conversation with her sister Marie, it was mentioned our mother repeated time and time again that she imagined herself a nun nurse who would ride a motorcycle to visit patients at their homes. I gotta think there's a business model there somewhere, at least a TV show. Our mother was so motivated to begin her career and she graduated nursing school early, yet she was still not old enough to practice. Once her career began, it blossomed. She began working at Metropolitan Hospital, then on to Nazareth Hospital, and after a few years found herself working in the pediatric wing of Northeastern Hospital. Not long after that, she found her passion in the emergency room. She was in full swing, fulfilling her true love caring for other people. That true love was not only caring for people professionally, but encompassed the need to begin a family. Well, guys, this is where it all started. Our mother decided to accept an invitation on a blind date from a friend. How I would love to have been in her head to hear what she thought when she met her date and soon-to-be husband and father of her children. Our parents started their incredible journey over 48 years ago. I still at times try to figure out the opening conversation that aligned them as a couple. I can imagine the conversation. Dad saying, "Hey, I'm a bowl." Mom saying, "I'm not." Dad saying, "Hey, I like computers." Mom saying, "Is that like a calculator?" Mom saying, "Hey, I'm going to be a nurse." Dad saying, "I really hate hospitals." Dad saying, "I love fishing." Mom saying, "Sounds boring." But I can see my mom saying, "I love cleaning and the night shift." And Dad saying, "I love cooking and the day shift." Let's get married. Regardless of how things unfolded, it was truly a relationship made in heaven. In 1962, the proverbial knot was tied. Matthew and Beverly began their life together. It wasn't long before the family began. First, there was Teresa in 1964, Matthew in 1967, me in 1968. Just thought when they were done, it was Sean in 1977. At this point, both her professional and personal lives were in full swing. She was one of the busiest ladies on the planet. The constant balance of professional and personal lives was defined by my mother. And keep in mind, she was very active with us in school. So much so, she was a school nurse for a few years. Tried to go home sick from school. I tried. With everything going on, our mother still had time for hobbies. Mom enjoyed many things to keep her busy and engaged with the family, whether it be playing pinochle at family picnics, dancing at family functions, or going to dinner with Dad. There were two things that stuck out most. She enjoyed Scrabble, as Olivia mentioned, and trust me, she loved Scrabble. She loved Scrabble so much that her imagination got the best of her sometimes. An imagination that my mother used to win. Well, really cheap. She would create words and tell us that they are medical terms. How can you possibly risk a challenge on a word from a nurse as smart as she was? I can remember it now. Sexy. Really, Mom? She would be like, what? That's a small function of an organ attached to a bone located in the middle of your body. You want to challenge me on that? Yes, she was competitive, but at the same time, she taught the lesson of have confidence in what you know. The other lesson was what to expect if you challenge her. Catch-22 was born. But to call this other thing she did a hobby would be to sorely underestimate her love for a bargain. It's called shopping. Mom was the inspiration for QVC. Shopping was a religion to our mother. She caused more store managers to come down to the floor because mismarked signs, incorrect sales tags, or new clothing inappropriately placed on clearance racks. I believe it was the sole reason our father never saw the inside of a mall. That was facing the risk of watching Mom in action. It was widely known that if you wanted to know if a friend or significant other was going to stick around and be part of the family, they had to face the gauntlet of Mom shopping at Christmas time. Tina, Sarah, Jen, and Tiffany all have been a part of this test. Now, keeping in mind, Terry is the understudy to my mother, so she's passed the test a long time ago. Those two together, well, that's another story. We knew that you needed to have endurance, stamina, mental acuity, and the ability to do all of this without food. Many who have shopped with her have begged and pleaded to stop for food. This is where my mother's medical knowledge once again kicked in, and she would defend her position to continue shopping. She knew the human body could survive for days without food, and all you need is water. At the end of the day, you had to have your best poker face when standing at her side and in front of the evil register lady or manager with or without nourishment. Just when you thought you were done, Mom would be calculating what needed to be cleaned at home in order to put all the new stuff she just bought away. My mother was the poster child for cleaning a house. You did not enter her house with shoes on. Back when our parents got married, our mother's cleaning was considered detailed and thorough. These days, some would consider it an OCD. Dad and all of us were sitting around talking just a few days ago about how Mom took cleaning to a new level and how much we all hated the chores. Friends and family alike knew so well how serious our mother was about cleaning that we couldn't even joke about it. I remember telling my friend Bernie that I couldn't come out and play basketball because my mother told me I had to clean the roof. Without it, because the rain takes care of that. Mom always said to clean the things you own. Speaking of sayings, she's had a few other choice sayings. One is, use your head for more than a hat rack. That was said to myself and Sean more times than you can remember. Don't worry, you'll live. No injury was too serious. If you're breathing and you can stand, you're okay. Wait until your father gets home. Once again, I'm going to default to, I got that a lot. And don't tell your father. That usually meant my mother bought something. And lastly, I made dinner. Let's eat. That was more like a notice to us that we would be running to McDonald's later that night. came to cooking, let's just say that our mother could take any medicine, a patient's weight, and know the math on what dosage to give the patient. But ask her to make a pancake with 1 part pancake mix and 1 part water, and she wound up with dumplings. Given all the cooking challenges, our mother still managed to produce several dishes. Liver and onions. Yum. Bean soup. Fantastic. And fried chicken with salt and pepper. It's good protein. And the best box macaroni and cheese Kraft could produce. Our mother was one of the most amazing people I've ever met and probably ever will meet. She spent her life caring for others. She never put herself before others. She would often go out of her way to help those who were in need. I knew I could come to her, no matter what the reason or circumstance. We all love her with all of our hearts and will truly miss her. And I can guarantee you that comes from me especially. When all's said and done, Beverly Teresa Sosker lived her life by touching the lives around her. She has now been rewarded by being with the Lord above. Mom, you are a loving wife, mother to 4, grandmother to 7, friend to hundreds, and nurse to thousands. So you definitely deserve it. You will be sorely missed. One last thing. I mentioned earlier that